no, no. No, 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 no.
Hey y'all, this is the Pleasure and Peace Practice, and I'm your host, Tia, your Pleasure and Peace practitioner. For those of you who may be new here, welcome. This is a space where your pleasure is not optional and your peace is sacred. Each episode, we explore things that are real, raw, and I hope restorative. Through honest conversation, evidence-based practice, and an abundance of permission, I encourage you to feel good. Whether you're here to reconnect with your body, unlearn harmful shame, or just take a breath, you belong here. Welcome in. Happy November, everyone. As we know, last week was Halloween, and whether you celebrated it or not, I hope you had a fantastic weekend. Today, I am super excited because all month long, we are going to be talking about magic. You might be thinking, why would Tia want to talk about magic in November? Didn't we wrap that season up with Halloween? Well, I'm glad you thought that, and I can read your thoughts because here is the answer. Halloween, as some of you may know, was born from an Irish holiday called Samhain. Now, in in Celtic folklore, the month of November is the month of Samhain, which means the veil is considered to be thin, not just for Halloween, but for the entire month of November. Now, what does all that have to do with magic? So, when I say the veil is thin, for those that aren't aware, I am talking about the veil between us and the spirit world, the seen and the unseen. Halloween has evolved so much over the years and across culture, but at its core, it is about spirits being able to commune more easily with those of us here in the flesh. Instead of this happening for just one night or weekend, Celtic people believed that this was more likely to happen during the entire month of November. This communing between realms is also often thought by some to be one-sided. Ancestors or loved ones might try to reach out and be more successful during this time. However, there are others who believe that humans also have the power to more easily access worlds beyond their own during this time. That can sometimes be referred to as magic. Today, we are not talking about fantasy or spells. Today, we are talking about science, intention, and how when we explore our own pleasure, peace, and power, we become sacred and embody our very own magic. In short, for the purposes of this video, of this episode, we are defining magic as the art of directing our energy through intention, emotion, and embodiment. Think of magic as energy or intention made tangible. Unfortunately, magic has often been misunderstood and demonized, especially when it has been said to be practiced by women and Black people and people of color. There is a saying I have heard, and unfortunately don't know the source, that states how we talk about witches that were burnt at the stake, when in reality, they were women. Women were the ones who were hunted, tortured, and burned for having the audacity to claim autonomy, power, and presence in a world that seeks to deny them. Now, I know that I have some listeners who might be thinking, I don't believe in witches or magic. I'm about to turn this off. To you, I say thank you for hanging with me as long as you have. And please stick around because this episode is still for you. If you have ever prayed, journaled, recited an affirmation, visualized your goals, you have already practiced magic. While you might not have referred to it as that, if you refer back to how we said we're defining magic as the art of directing our energy through intention, emotion, and embodiment, all of those things are a means to the same end. Our daily habits, whatever we call them, are ritual. What if we were to treat them as such? Tools for transformation. During the introduction, I stated that we weren't going to be talking about fantasy or spells today, but instead, we were going to be talking about science, intention, and how when we explore our own pleasure, peace, and power, we become sacred and embody our very own magic. Let's get into the piece about science. Magic, as we are defining it, is measurable. Our thoughts and focus have the power to change the brain and the body. Now, I am a licensed clinical social worker, so I'm going to speak only from my area of competence and explain this in the same way I have explained it to my clients many times before. Reality, the way we understand it, is not absolute. Stick with me. Our brain filters what we understand as reality through focus, which is why, for example, my reality as a Black woman raised in the South may differ from yours, regardless of if you share those demographics or not. There are too many variables that make us who we are, and that influences how our brains filter and focus. A book that I highly recommend to clients, friends, family alike is called How Minds Change by David McRaney. And I think he does an excellent job of putting this into perspective. And it's in layman's terms, it's really accessible and readable. Let's look at this another way. Take somatic therapy, for example. Somatic therapy takes into account how energy and emotion are stored and released through the body, whether you intend it or not. Have you ever been feeling stuck or sad and then went out dancing or for a walk or a run or practiced some asanas and suddenly felt a release? You changed your focus and that was able to shift things not only in your brain, but also in your body. Additionally, what we believe or disbelieve impacts our perception and possibilities. This is a nod to quantum or psychological principles, with the premise being that when humans focus on an event, we somehow solidify its occurrence. This is why some people who may believe the earth is flat, for example, can only see evidence to fit the narrative that they have decided is true, or why most people who have religious or spiritual beliefs tend to stick with them. They were born into them. It is a matter of location and culture, and their beliefs in turn inform the world that they live in. The world I see would differ entirely from that of a Buddhist monk in Asia. Not because we live on two entirely different planets physically, but because we have different belief systems. And thus, the way our brain filters reality is different. Okay, Let's gently ease out of that and into how we can connect this knowledge to mindfulness or a more organized practice of EMDR. When we move energy, our magic, our intentions, our perceptions with awareness, we can rewire our sense of safety and power. The bottom line is that you do not need to consider yourself to be a witch, quote unquote, to be magical. You are magical if you intend to be so. Earlier, I referenced how the things we do every day, while some may call them habit, may also be referred to as ritual. Ritual can also be defined as a repetition with reverence. Some everyday examples might include lighting a candle before journaling, touching your body with gratitude, or speaking kind words to yourself. In this light, where might you already be performing rituals in your life? Magic is not something outside of you. Magic is something that happens and is happening within you. Today, instead of a listener question, I want to offer some reflection questions and a mini meditation. Where in your life are you already practicing magic without realizing it? What would you change if you treated your routines like sacred ritual? With that in mind, I invite you, if you are able, to close your eyes, take a deep inhale, a soft and slow exhale. Think of one small intention you would like to carry this week. Something simple. Maybe it is to offer yourself warm tea in the morning or softer self talk. If you are able, place a hand on your heart or your lower belly. Feel the warmth there. Whisper to yourself, I am the magic I see. Thank you for being here, for listening, for getting curious with me. Whether it's a question, a story, or a truth, still finding words, this space is for you. Whatever it is, you don't have to hold it alone. Ask, share, confess. We're in this together. And if you've got something on your heart, drop it anonymously using the link in the show notes or over on Instagram. If this episode moved you, helped you, or made you feel seen, share it with a friend, leave a rating, or drop a comment. Your support helps this space grow. Follow me on Instagram and Threads at Pleasure and Peace with Tia for more. Until next time, remember, I've got you and you've got this. Talk to y'all soon.